Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Friday to everybody. What's going on over there, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
Living the dream.
Are you? You came in and you asked me how I was doing, which is fine. You usually do, but you seemed like you were deflecting.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay, things are all right.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
good.
fine. It's Friday.
Life's good.
Life's good. Yeah, we got a Saturday off, which is always nice because got wall-to-wall stuff on Saturday, as most people with children do.
Yep.
Hatch is filling in for Christian at the moment. Hatch, I'm sure your Saturdays are wall-to-wall.
This week especially.
Yeah, dance, swim. I've got dance and swim for
I've
kids
got
on Saturday.
Cheer, first big cheer competition of the year for my daughter.
Yeah,
so.
see, it's still, I don't know. I'm assuming that doesn't end until my youngest is like 18, right? Well,
sure feels like it.
I guess
Ben could kind of fill us in on that because he's a little further along in the process here. But
yeah, the 13-year-old gets a little more. They can take care of themselves a little more, or you just don't put them in stuff.
Or you just say roam the
Good luck.
neighborhood.
activities, no thank you.
Yeah, go figure it out.
Yeah, and I bet once you hit 16, like that probably is a new thing. Although I read a story today on car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think either of my kids are going to get.
Not going to be driving.
No.
Yeah.
I read something that in California, like a 19-year-old. Do you know how much it costs to insure in California a 19-year-old?
Monthly or over 6 months?
Monthly.
Oh man, $250.
It's like 500 bones.
Wow.
It's more than a car payment.
Yikes.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, they're not going to be driving.
Yeah, not at $500 a month.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's here
Hopefully
in Utah.
it's not here.
Yeah, that varies or whatever. But you're gonna come up on that
Very soon.
before me.
3 years. Yeah, 2.5.
You gonna buy him a car?
You know, before I got in my wreck, my latest wreck, which was a few months ago now.
You're gonna
I can't
save
remember.
that one.
The idea was, okay, at that point, that'll be an 8-year-old, 9-year-old car. It's pretty safe. You know, maybe I'll give him that one. And now no. Fortunately, I had to upgrade to a newer car, so I'm going to have to get him something cheaper. But he's probably going to wreck it or, get wrecked. So get him something safe, but not super expensive.
I told you, my dad gave me a hand-me-down car, similar circumstance to what you're talking about. And I absolutely wrecked that car within 6 months.
My parents gave me a Subaru Legacy, which was very nice of them, and I just didn't take care of it. I didn't wreck it. I just didn't take care of it. I was a skateboarder, and I was just driving all over town, and I don't think I ever got an oil change, which is just like stupid stuff I should have done, But I was also 16. When was I going to go get it? I didn't know how to get an oil change at 16 years old. I learned it was valuable.
Speaking of insurance, that accident taught me a valuable lesson because then I had to take the insurance and then I had to go find a suitable replacement automobile and stay within a budget and all of that. All that stuff.
Yep.
All those good life lessons. But yeah, my kids are getting no way they're getting anything.
Yeah. What does a gas powered GoPed cost now?
I see those
$125.
I see those stupid electric biker gang kids.
But you get it.
Well, not the biker gang part, but like the
electric bike?
The electric bike. It's basically a motorcycle.
$800 goes, $40. And that's as much as, 2 months of insurance is going to cost me? Great.
So why does every teenage boy have to travel in packs then? Why does it have to be 30 of them at once?
Yeah, I don't know. You're out with your crew. You're a motorcycle gang.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
An electric bike.
I'm going to call the police next time I see one of those.
It's a good idea.
There's no way they're up to any good.
Probably true. I wouldn't have been.
Right.
So.
Yeah, those kids are vandalizing something. Or terrorizing a neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Ben, we've got a busy football weekend to talk about. We've got a Jazz game last night to talk about. Jalen Johnson had
one of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
It's one of the best games ever played.
Yeah.
If you look at, and I don't love that type of hyperbole, but if you look at this stat line, 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, and 7 steals.
All of them career highs. And it's not lost on me that he's doing all of that without Trae Young on the floor. And
they're way better without Trae Young.
And the fact that they held the Jazz to 4 points over the final 6 minutes was like, I don't know if we want to start Jazz. But yeah, that was notable. That was a truly brilliant performance. 7 steals is anytime you do that, it's a big deal. And to be that close to a quadruple double, which would have been only the 5th in NBA history, is pretty wild.
I'm still like, I can't believe the Jazz aren't losing by 40 in these games.
It looked like it was headed that way. They were down 18 in the first half.
I mean, no moral victories and all that sort of thing, but I mean, it was much like the game against Detroit. I mean, how did the Jazz not lose by 30? They really should have.
Yeah. Which is progress, I guess. I don't know if there's a good loss. I don't know if that's such a thing, but it's progress from just getting blown off the floor.
Honestly, if the idea is to thread the needle and to try, and lose, well, then that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody, it was a moral victory.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point? Well, I mean, are you cheering for him to tank, or do you actually want to see a team pour it on out there and come up just a bit short?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have a busy college football weekend. I don't know how competitive it's going to be. Is that underselling TCU?
Is it fair to even call TCU and Baylor dangerous?
I think it is with TCU. I don't know about Belore.
TCU, give me the map of how TCU beats BYU.
They score 40, and BYU can't keep up.
I guess that's it. Bear has a random bad game at home. He's not played bad at home yet, but he has a random bad game at home. A hangover from what happened against Texas Tech last week for Bear specifically. And, yeah, they get gashed by TCU's 2 wide receivers, who are the best in the conference probably. That's, right there with BYU. Those 2 receivers that TCU has are probably as good as anybody in the conference. Maybe that's how they do it. As we saw, who was it? Iowa State scored on the 75-yard touchdown on the first play of the game. Like, maybe BYU's secondary hasn't been tested enough, and a couple of deep threats can really gash you. But, man, I don't see it. I rewatched Baylor TCU, and I just am not impressed with either of these teams. And certainly when you think of the toughness of BYU and the steadiness of their run game and their ability to have big plays as well, I do think BYU probably beats TCU by more than Utah beats Baylor. But I think both of these teams win this weekend.
I do too. But if you want to look at the blueprint, Ben, if that's what you're asking, 2 years ago, TCU beat BYU 44-11 with Josh Hoover at quarterback, who threw for 439 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's how they beat BYU. I'm not predicting it.
Sure.
I think BYU has a much better team.
Was that Jay Hill's first year then, technically?
And
Say 2 years ago?
And a much better defense.
Yeah.
Keaton Slovis was quarterbacking that day. So apples to apples, it certainly is not. But if you're looking for the blueprint on how the Horned Frogs beat BYU, that's it. Josh Hoover throws it all over the yard. BYU can't slow it down. They get to 40 points, and the Bear can't keep up. That's the blueprint. And that could happen.
Technically, anything could happen.
But that's how you started the segment. You want the blueprint? That's the blueprint. That's what TCU is going to try and do.
In TCU's wins this year, I'm trying to do this quickly. Okay, they did beat West Virginia 23-17, which again is just a sign that, A, maybe West Virginia's playing a little bit better. But more importantly, the TCU really is not much to write home about. Outside of that, scoring 23 points in that win, they've had to score 35 points or more to get a victory. Because they only scored 28 against Kansas State, they lost. They only scored 24 against Arizona State, they lost. They only scored 17 against Iowa State, they lost. So, yeah, they have to get into a shootout. They have to outscore you.
Yeah, it's an air raid team.
They're not going to slow BYU down at all. BYU, I'm sure, is going to feel backed up after what happened offensively against Texas Tech. And I think you're going to see them come out and be able to move the ball with a lot of vigor. So I'm just not expecting much of a game tomorrow night. I think the 8:15 factor of it, is it 8:15 tomorrow? Whatever the 8:15 factor of it all is really going to burn both producer Christian and host of College Game Day and TCU. It's just a bad setup for the Horned Frogs.
You know what's interesting? So TCU in the country, where do you think they are with passing offense?
11th.
ninth
Okay.
with 303 yards per game. But that only puts them, Ben, at second in the league.
Okay.
Behind
Texas Tech?
Valor.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that surprised me a little bit too. Texas Tech is 3 in passing offense. TCU in scoring offense, of course, which is all that matters. They're 7th, so they're putting up 32.5 points per game. I think they probably have to get higher than that to beat the Cougs.
Eric McAllister and Jordan Dwyer are 2 legit threats. Probably NFL guys. I don't think first-round picks necessarily. I don't know.
Well, and Hoover can throw.
And Hoover will throw the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll take some shots. So those 2 guys are extraordinarily productive and dangerous and can beat double coverage and can take the top off all the cliches of what good wide receivers do. They are able to do that. So I don't think BYU is going to win this game 31-9. I think TCU is going to be able to score some points, but
If it's only in the 20s, they're going to lose.
But yeah, I think it's going to be in the 20s. I don't think you're going to score 40 at LaVell Edwards Stadium. And if you can't score 40, you can't win.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And the Bear is going to have a much easier time moving the football against Texas Christian than he did against the Raiders. And LJ Martin's going to have a better day. And the offense is going to look significantly better.
Yeah.
And I would bet BYU can get to 30 points pretty easy in this one. So if you keep TCU in the 20s, it should be no problem.
I would think so too.
But that's the recipe. That's what TCU wants to do. Whether they can or not remains to be seen. But they are more of a threat, I think, than Valor, even though Utah's playing on the road.
I think the fact that Utah's on the road and actually the way Utah squashes teams doesn't apply to Baylor as much, because Baylor will be happy to continue to throw the ball even if they get down early, because that's what Baylor does. That might allow them to, because I told you I watched the TCU Baylor game. TCU was up 42-21 with like 4 minutes left in the game. And if you look at the final score, I think they lose by 6, because Baylor gets a scoop and score, and they can move the ball down the field with big chunk plays. That Trigg kid who got assaulted by Mac Rhodes, their athletic director, he's really good. He's a really dangerous player. He's big. He's got great hands. He's fast. Like that's a very good tight end at the college level. And then they have other good wide receivers. So I think they're also going to break off some big plays against Utah's defense. I just think over time, Utah's ability to run the ball, they're just going to hammer Baylor into the ground.
Well, yeah, I don't think Baylor's going to have the ball.
And that's probably the game plan.
I'm sure it is. I mean, Valor is 15th in the conference in stopping the run.
Yeah, well, that's bad.
They give up 177.5 rushing yards a game.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to help them. It's not going to help their prospects.
No. How are they not slinging it all over the Utes? Well, they're standing on the sideline as Wayshawn Parker runs over them.
And it is, of course, the danger. You get 1 3 and out, and it's like, oh, man, we haven't had the ball in 18 minutes of game time.
We might get the ball next quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Next
that
half.
is Utah. Yeah, and now all of a sudden Utah's up 14-0 or 21-3 or 17-3.
And you're
game
one-dimensional
feels over.
and it's over. Yeah, I mean, it's the Python thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
And by the way, that's a real credit to Utah and BYU. Both of these teams to be in these situations this late in the year against 2 teams with above 500 records, one on the road, one coming in to Provo, to have the type of confidence I think you and I both have in these games is a testament to both BYU and Utah, because they're really good teams, because they are among the cream of the crop, maybe behind your Cincinnati Bearcats in the Big 12.
Certainly in this league, they seem to be among the top, and there is a level separating, I think, the top from the rest. And maybe maybe I'm underselling TCU, because there is that recipe for them to win. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Haven't seen it for a couple of weeks now, which, again, maybe they're overdue for a big offensive explosion, because they didn't have it against West Virginia. They didn't have it against Iowa State. And maybe things shake loose. And, again, it's why you play the games. Every Saturday is a chance to win a game. Every Saturday is a chance to lose a game, as cliche as it sounds. And BYU, again, cannot allow themselves to be hungover from what happened last week. So, I don't think they will be.
I know what happened last year, but I wouldn't expect that to happen. I don't think.
No, it's a more mature team. You have to go through what happened last year. And I know Bear is not the quarterback from last year, but you had to go through what you went through last year of letting go of the rope for too long to learn not to do it this season. That's just part of the growth of a football team.
Plus, I think Kansas was in a different spot than TCU is. Would you say, the Kansas loss for BYU. I think Kansas was sneaking up on teams. I think they were a better team than their record, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy cow, we lost to Kansas, and then followed that up losing to an Arizona State team barely on the road. I don't know. I don't expect BYU to follow it up with a loss. Let me put it that way. I don't think the two scenarios are
Well, BYU already
comparable.
had the Arizona State loss, which is their Texas Tech, because Texas Tech is the best team in the conference, and Arizona State was last year.
And then Kansas. That's right. I had those backwards.
But how
Apologies.
do you avoid? I don't know. Maybe you don't. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe you are right in the right order. I can't remember to be honest with you. But I just mean it's okay to lose to the best team in the conference. They're the best team. That's how you win the conference. You beat all the other teams below you. Kansas was playing with absolutely nothing to lose last year. I don't think TCU can feel that way right now. I don't think that's where TCU is. I don't think they're playing loose, spoiler, whatever we want to do. Let's just go out there and go crazy. If they do, that makes them more dangerous. But I don't see that.
Kansas was first.
It was first. Okay.
And then they barely lost. Remember, the crowd stormed the field a bunch of times at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And that was 2 in a row. So Kansas was a way better team than their record was last year coming into that game. I don't feel the same about TCU, which was my point.
And I think BYU is better this year than they were last year.
I agree with that. I think the Bears better than Retzlaff.
Think so?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. I think Retzlaff had a little bit of the Cam Rising where
Gamer.
he made some plays when it mattered most, won some pretty spectacular scenarios, but was he an All-American quarterback? Not really. I think the Bear is actually more talented and a better quarterback than Retzlaff, but maybe that's a hot take. I don't know.
I'm curious. Would
And
you
again, I'm
rather
not trying
have-
to drag Cam
No, of
Rising,
course
who
not.
was fine and won a bunch of games, and his stats were fine too. But
Yeah.
he wasn't. Alex Smith was a way better quarterback than Cam Rising was, in my opinion.
I'm curious. Would you rather have year 2 full-time starter of Jake Retzlaff this year than year 1 Bear, who has to learn some of these things?
I think year 1 Bear. I
Yeah,
think
you
year
might
1
be
Bear
right,
is better.
even with the experience. Even if you had the chance of just saying like everything that happened over the summer is gone, Jake Retzlaff's here. He just picked it up and went. I don't know.
So what
Interesting
game?
question.
What game was it? Let's see, where the Bear truly won it with his arm. Iowa State, right? Did Retzlaff ever do that? Did he go out and say, "Okay, we need 350 from you tonight, Jake, or else we're going to lose"?
Look at his games. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd have to look at his game log too, but I don't remember that scenario
No, I don't either.
right off the top of my head.
No, you're right. He had far more gamer games than just being the best player on the field games.
Right.
And Bear has had those. I don't think you're wrong at all. Oh, here, let me pull this up really quick. Let me see what his best passing game was last year. His best passing game was 346 on the road at Arizona State in a loss. He also had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions in that game, so it wasn't like he was brilliant.
No.
No, you're right. Bear at his best has been better than Retzlaff at his best last year. I think that's fair to say.
Bear protects the ball a lot better, too.
Yeah, he does. Though Jake Retzlaff only has 3 interceptions this year.
How many fumbles? Probably a lot.
44. No, I don't know.
Yeah, he's playing at a different level with in a
Oh, he also
different-
only has 10 touchdowns through the air.
Yeah.
Now he has 6 on the. Oh, this was last year. He has 10 through the air this season and 10 on the ground. So he's accounted for 20 and only 3 turnovers. I can't find fumbles.
He punched above his weight last year.
He's a good player. He's a really good player.
So, all right, stay tuned. Top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com. Coming up next, Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. It's time for the top 3 stories of the day, KSLSports.com. It's brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials, J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, BYU basketball's Kennard Davis Jr. was arrested yesterday morning for alleged DUI.
Yeah, this is a bad story. It's kind of a scary story. He got into a wreck yesterday, according to the police. And I don't see the time that it happened.
It was in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning.
It was like quarter to noon. It was like 11:30.
Right. That's kind of what I had seen, that it was early in the day. and there was a 2-car wreck, and he explained the damage of it, and it sounds like he went straight to the police station, not to the hospital, which I guess I'm glad he's healthy, obviously, but you can't be getting DUIs anywhere, any school. Really hard to get them at BYU because in addition to the normal rules and laws that everyone applies to, there's the honor code. And he's a starter. This is a big transfer. This is not A.J. DeBonsa. This isn't the biggest name on BYU's team, but this is a big player to transfer in who was expected to be a part of the team and really help them this year.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with all that. And a DUI is never good. An accident, all that. I'm happy everybody is healthy.
Right.
Honestly, first and foremost. Also, young people make mistakes. This is a bad one, but young people make mistakes. So all that context, Ben, I think the relevant conversation is how is BYU communicating their honor code? I'm trying to think of a better way to put that, but how are they selling it? How are they enforcing it? I think that's the relevant discussion. And it's because there has been an influx of non-LDS athletes at BYU in this new atmosphere. Now, Ben, I do this a lot, and I apologize for it, but I'm old enough to remember when Gary Croton was here. I was just starting my career, and BYU was doing something similar, where they were bringing in more non-LDS outside athletes. Now, I know, not from official reports, but I know from talking to people that the message was, there's an honor code, but not really.
Yeah.
Just don't tell anybody about it. Keep your nose clean and, stay under the radar and don't worry about it. That was the messaging going to athletes. It backfired big time.
Big time, yeah.
Big time. It did. It really set the program back, honestly, because people didn't know what they were getting into. And one thing that Bronco did, and he talked about it often when he had the BYU job, is he led with the honor code.
Yeah.
He said, this is how it works here. And you don't have to convert to the religion, but you have to adhere to the standards. And if you don't, there will be consequences. Like Jamal Williams, for example, it's amazing. Like I was always impressed in a weird way that he stayed.
Absolutely.
Because probably he knew the rules. He knew what he was getting into, and he knew what the punishments would be. None of it came as a surprise to him. And so I don't know currently how they're selling the honor code when they're recruiting these players. I really don't. I have no idea. But this can happen when you change your recruiting strategy at a unique place like BYU. And I think that is relevant. Are players coming in with the understanding that there's an honor code and it will be enforced? Or are they coming in with the understanding of, yeah, there's one, but don't really worry about it? Does that make any sense? And I don't know, but I do think it's very relevant.
It is relevant. I'm very hesitant to speculate about it, and I don't think you are either. You're not speculating about it, but I recognize the question. It's also, and look, now, Kennard Davis is 20 years old. He can't be drinking. Well, we don't even know what he got his DUI is for.
I'm more broadening the question as opposed to this circumstance.
You're right.
There's nothing
totally
acceptable about the current circumstance, as you put it, at any school.
You're right. And the DUI and being 20 years old. And again, we don't know if it actually is for alcohol. I didn't see that. I've looked at the stories. I didn't see it was alcohol. I don't know if it was weed. I don't know what it was.
I'm not trying to talk about this situation. You know what? He's got enough on his plate. Like, we'll see how it goes.
But
I'm broadening it out to how are you selling BYU's lifestyle to non-LDS outsiders who don't know?
And Kennard Davis is actually a little bit interesting here. And Jake Retzlaff was a little bit, though it has since been cleared. They said there was nothing illegal about what Jake Retzlaff did.
No, but there was premarital sex.
But no, so that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
So what happened with Jake Retzlaff? What happened with Brandon Davies? What happened with Jamal Williams? Did they break the law? None of them, according to the law, did anything illegal. Jamal and Brandon Davies were never accused of it. Jake Retzlaff was, but he was cleared. Okay, nothing illegal at all. And BYU still can't allow them to play or has to suspend them for a certain amount of time. And that's where, of course, this just becomes a bigger story. Now, look, 20-year-old driving under the influence, illegal regardless of where you are. That's not just BYU. But there are 21-year-olds who are going to transfer to BYU. This kid that just committed to BYU, who's 25 years old and played in the G League, he can go get a beer after if he wants to at every other school.
So how are you enforcing it and how are you selling it? I do think that is relevant.
I'm with you, and that's where I think it does get interesting for BYU. And if there is a point where whoever is in charge puts the clamps on where the NIL money comes from or where it gets spent or who it gets spent on, or if you're not as comfortable with transfers coming in because while they're not doing anything illegal, they're not living the lifestyle that BYU is comfortable with or allows, period, then yeah, that could change the outlook of things.
And there are plenty of non-LDS athletes that can thrive at BYU.
There are. We've seen it.
We've seen it a bunch of times. But they shouldn't be buffaloed about the standards because then you're messing with accountability. You know, Ben, I'm more than happy to be accountable for a decision that I make good or bad on my own. But if I don't know the consequences, or I don't think it's a big deal, or I'm told that it's not going to be then all of a sudden accountability goes out the window. You know what I mean?
Right. If you are stealing headphones from the station all the time, like you are, but everyone just says it's fine, it's not a big deal. But if all of a sudden it becomes a fireable offense,
and then and you know who suffers? Me.
Right.
Like the athlete will suffer.
Yes, exactly right.
Because BYU win. And I'm trying to make sure this isn't controversial, but BYU when confronted with a public situation will not pick your side. And I don't mean that to be, I'm not trying to bag on BYU here.
No,
I'm just
the honor
saying.
code is bigger than the player.
Right.
That's fine.
Thank you for putting that better than I would. But yeah, so the athlete doesn't think it's a big deal, breaks the honor code. It's public and BYU has to do something. They're not going to back the athlete.
Correct. And again, it is important to remember that while, yes, this does break the honor code, he broke the law.
Right. And again, that's why I'm trying to move on from this particular, or not move on, but the conversation isn't about this. This is wrong. I feel for the bad decision that this kid made. He's going to have to face the consequences. It's going to cost him in his personal life.
Yeah, dearly.
It is. There's no one today that is coming out and going, well, this was a good decision.
Yeah.
Or I know that fans get loose on the internet. There's not actually a Utah State fan out there that is happy that this person made a bad decision in their life. That is not a thing.
Agreed.
So I don't think there's actually a whole lot to talk about with this particular circumstance other than, God, we got to make better decisions.
This isn't necessarily specific to BYU, though I'm sure there are some schools that have lighter punishments for kids getting DUIs than others. And BYU will not be one of the ones that has a lighter punishment.
No. All right, what's next?
Number 2, the Jazz fell short last night against the Atlanta Quinn Snyders.
Interesting game. I actually thought a pretty fun game. No defense until the last 6 minutes from Atlanta, and they were really good in those last 6 minutes. Like we mentioned, they only gave up 4 points. They held the Jazz to 2 of 11 shooting and forced 4 turnovers. So that was impressive to see them locked down because that's not necessarily been a staple when they've had Trae Young. But Lauri Markkanen scored 40. Ace Bailey set his 4th consecutive career high in scoring with 21 points. And, as you mentioned, he just does look like he's becoming a star.
Well, a little premature there, but I get what you're saying. He seems to be getting better every game, and he's really smooth out there, and he has
I thought we had a drop for that.
A nice game. We do. But it is 4 good games in a row. I think moving into the starting lineup obviously has given him a little confidence. I think that's probably a pretty good thing. Last night, though, was an absolute layup line, which is hilarious. You make a good point till the end of the 4th quarter when Atlanta decided to not have it that way. I don't think setting the defensive culture is going well.
Of course not. You've given up part of the plan.
But the problem is, though, Ben, is they're so now fatally flawed, they really can't play defense, which is weird. Like, how do you set a defensive culture when...
How do you yell at Bryce Sensabaugh about not playing defense when Lauri Markkanen and Yusuf Nurkic don't play defense?
How do you do that? So maybe that's an unfair criticism that setting the defensive culture isn't going well. But isn't going well because they can't stop anybody at the rim, and it is a layup line. And then when you try to commit resources to stopping guys at the rim, then you give up open threes, right? And then Okongwu is setting career highs with 8 made threes
I mean,
because
they
there's
hit 24 threes.
there's nobody in the same county as him. And Jalen Johnson is having a just historic night because there's nobody that can stay in front of him or get a hand in his face.
Vic Ricci off the bench hits 6 of 8 from 3.
Yeah, and so it's weird because the Jazz are flawed. But like I said, they really should have lost that game by 30 points. They had no business. I mean, they had it within one, midway through the fourth quarter?
It was 119 to 118, and the Jazz finished with 122 points over the final 6 minutes.
Right. I mean, they really had no business being in that game the way that Atlanta was playing. And the fact that the Jazz turned it over 24 times, which is wild.
Including 18 live balls, which live ball turnovers are basically
It's a
layups.
dunk.
Yeah, it's a dunk. It's a layup. It's a wide open shot.
Or an and one, which the Jazz are weirdly bad at that. Like Jerry Sloan, I've told you this, Ben, but his biggest pet peeve ever, like you could set your watch to it. If you fouled a guy on a fast break and he still made the shot, you were coming out of the game. It was like his number one pet peeve.
Yeah.
If you were going to foul him, he better not make it.
Yeah.
You might as well just give up the layup.
Foul, but use your foul.
But use your foul. Don't let him make it. And he would pull out anybody on the team. You could plan it. You'd be like, oh, Howard Isley's coming out of the game. Because it's kind of inexcusable, honestly. And the Jazz kind of give up a lot of those, which is strange. But
Will Hardy was quite optimistic, I thought, after the game. He says he sees a really good team here. Talking about the Jazz.
There's not much to be bent out of shape. I mean, the T-Wolves game last Friday, by all means, get bent out of shape. I mean, unless you're really going to get after Yusuf Nurkic for being borderline worthless.
It's not.
What are you going to say?
It's not hard to see what the Jazz's problem is. They can't defend teams that play on the perimeter. They can't. And it's not everybody. But because you have a center who simply cannot leave the paint in Yusuf Nurkic, and now you're saddled with him. As much as I enjoy watching him play, because he almost had a triple-double last night, and he did have 5 steals on top of it. And he's just kind of fun to watch because he does weird things. And I'm not a fan, so I don't care if he's costing the Jazz game. So I enjoy it, but I understand why Jazz fans wouldn't. But you know why they lost last night, and it's because Yusuf Nurkic can't do anything defensively. You're playing 5-on-4 every single, or 4-on-5 defensively every trip down the floor because his backup is Kevin Love and has similar issues.
I can't watch Nurk miss layups.
Well, he was better last night. You can't
enjoy. He was a
he was
little
4
better.
7.
He was a little better.
Yeah,
He misses so many layups.
he does, and he turns the ball over a lot.
And he insists on dribbling for some reason.
He does. He likes to bring the ball up the court, and I like it. I support it.
Okay.
But the story is Ace Bailey, 8 of 13, 4 of 7 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and he truly gets better every time he's on the floor.
What's next?
Number 3, it's a football Friday. That means it's a big weekend ahead for Utah and BYU.
Big for both. You know, this is the nice part. Again, I'm glad they're in the same conference because I think it makes the football season more fun. And I'm particularly glad BYU's in a conference, period. Yeah. Because these two games, now granted, the opponents are not boring opponents, but they're not super awesome opponents either. But you know what? Both games are interesting because both games really matter.
They do
If
matter,
Utah loses another one, they are out of conference contention.
But mathematically eliminated.
Eliminated. So they have to win. Ben, I'm not usually the one to throw
Say
around
it.
this tag.
Say it.
It's usually you. But if the Utes want to win the conference title, this weekend's game against Baylor is a must win.
Must win. Must win. Sound
And you
the
get to say
alarms.
that every week from here on out.
Now, it is not a must win for BYU, but if they want their road to remain clear, which it is pretty clear to get to the conference title game, then they need a
to
win
keep winning.
against TCU.
Yeah, if they want to make the college football playoff, I would suggest they keep winning games.
They don't have to.
They do not have to.
It is not a must win
No.
if they want to make the playoff.
No, it is not. But if I were to offer my 2 cents, I would think it would be a high value for them to win this game.
But can you imagine if we were talking about a stupid non-conference game against San Jose State or something?
No, talking about Utah last year stunk.
Oh, I'm more referring back to it's November and BYU is playing a meaningful game not only in a conference, but on the national stage.
Right.
And it just never happened in independence because it wasn't possible. And then we're left to fluff up like BYU and San Antonio or whatever in November. It doesn't even matter.
No, if let's set the scale. Utah, BYU, everything that was on the line in that game, or even BYU, Texas Tech last week, everything that was on the line in that game. If that's like a 90 game out of 100, it's not the Sugar Bowl, it's not the greatest game, but it's like a 90 out of 100. Super important. Where would you put Utah Baylor? Like what? Give it a number score.
Well, I mean, Utah can still win the league.
They
so
can.
I'd put it
so it's not nothing.
No, I'd put it up above 50.
It's above 50,
Yeah,
right?
like
I think that's
60
very
or
fair
70?
because we have seen Utah Air Force or Utah New Mexico or whatever these games that didn't matter.
But there is something on the line, and they're playing against above 500 P4 team.
It's only a slightly above 50 game, and when's it on TV? It's 5 o'clock on ESPN. Like, this is a huge game.
Yeah.
This would be the game that you circled before the season. Like, Utah got 2 games on national TV this year. Holy cow, they're everywhere. And now it's just like, yeah, that's just where they play against a team that's above 500 that, yeah, it has a chance to derail Utah's final hopes of making the college football playoff or going to the Big 12 title game. So, yeah, it's a relatively huge game compared to what they have played 15 years ago. And for BYU, these are all brand new.
All right, Steve Bartle at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. Stay tuned for that. Greg Wrubel, voice of the Cougs, will be with us at 11:30. Stay tuned. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars return home for a battle against TCU. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about Belliston Jewelry. They design and manufacture fine jewelry right here in Utah. We're going to be up there, Ben, next Tuesday in Ogden, 1155 36th Street. And, yeah, we're going to be hanging out with the Weber State fans. Excited about it. Belliston Jewelry, locally made just for you, cherished for generations. Ben, did you see that we have a new gambling scandal?
Oh, finally.
This one,
the third one this week?
This one, less connected to pro sports, certainly. Is it the third one this week? Has it been that many?
I'm sure. Yeah, probably.
Well, arrests have been made. Apparently, Joseph Little Joe Perna is a member of the Lucchese crime family.
Okay.
And apparently he enlisted his son, who was a college student at Rutgers. So Perna financed the gambling ring. His son and his son's buddies at college basically pulled it off. There were a couple of wrestlers involved.
Okay.
But I don't know. There could be speculation that they fixed some wrestling matches, but kind of this is just your run-of-the-mill story, not really anything all that exciting, other than you wouldn't think that college students could execute a gambling ring that had over $2 million in transactions, which is pretty wild. But the reason I bring this up, Ben, is because I love a good quote. You're a writer, beat writer. You of course love a good quote. I'm trying to get this guy's name. The cop who was publicly speaking for the New Jersey State Police. Anyway, his last name is Platkin. I don't know what
Matt Platkin.
Matt Platkin.
Yeah, Matthew, but I'm going to call him Matt.
Here's what he says. Quote, any college student listening, yes, if you're of age, you can gamble on your phones. However, you should not be gambling in a mob-backed operation. That's free parental advice, unquote, which I thought was a hilarious quote. Little advice, don't pick the mob-backed.
Yeah.
You have many apps you can download.
It's really
these
easy
days,
to do.
apparently.
It's legal in New Jersey. You can go to Atlantic City. How far is it?
Probably not that far
Yeah,
from
probably not
Rutgers.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably get there in no
But
time.
I'm sure DraftKings or whatever is available in New Jersey.
You can do it
It's-
on your phone on campus.
Yeah, it's
using campus Wi-Fi.
so don't pick the mob one. I thought that was a great quote.
Allegedly, this family is also part of the Chauncey Billups one.
Okay.
the Lucchese family is part of the Chauncey
Right.
Bills
This crime
Yeah.
family is also
Right.
involved in that scheme.
But like all 5 families were involved in that one, right? Or was it
Yeah,
4
it was
out of the
4
5?
of the Cosa Nostra, everything. Yeah.
The big 5 in New York.
It, again, this doesn't seem like there's no allegations here that anyone is throwing gambling or throwing wrestling matches, right? That's not the
They said
implication.
maybe, but
I went to a Halloween party. A friend of mine had one. His sister played volleyball, and I won't say where she played. It wasn't one of our local schools, but she went back there for kind of an alumni thing, and she was talking to me about NIL even infiltrating relatively, I'll just say mid-level D1, but mid-level women's volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And the top player was making, I think, $15,000 a year in NIL, and everyone gets $1,000 for signing. And she's like, you do recognize, I guess, if you're getting $1,000 and you think, well, I should get paid, and, well, I can make quadruple that by missing a serve. You know what I mean? By losing a game, not the match, a set. I guess I can make that money back. And what does a college wrestler make? Maybe the top in the country at the big wrestling schools probably does pretty well. Might make 6 figures, but yeah, I'll make a little bit extra money, take care of myself. All the rest of the athletes in my department are getting paid. Why am I not getting paid? Ace Bailey's at Rutgers. He's making how much? $4 million. I'm the best player I'm the best wrestler on the team. I can't get any money. And I'm not alleging.
yeah.
any
What
of that,
what
but-
point are you making? Is it sympathetic? Because I do not find it.
No,
that way.
not sympathetic at all. But it's easy to look at what your neighbor's making and say, why am I not making that much, and how can I get there? That's really easy to do.
Yeah, but when you go down that road, what's the end?
No, there is no end. Yeah,
Right.
this is the end.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
right.
This is the end. I watched the John Candy documentary last night on Prime. It's interesting. It's good. John Candy was pretty interesting. A wonderful actor and a great guy. But, they talk about he was so nice, but the one time he got angry was on SCTV, which was kind of the counterpart to SNL, when he was looking at the rest of the comedians that were also getting paid for being writers also. And he got mad that he wasn't getting paid as a writer because, what do you mean? I'm improvising stuff. That's writing. I'm doing my job. How is that not writing? Why am I not getting paid enough? That's just the human instinct of why are they getting more than I am? I'm equally good at what I do, even if it's different than what they do. So I think that's where it does get sketchy. And these athletes now feel like they deserve to make money, and everyone has told them they deserve to make money. So again, not running illegal gambling schemes with the mob, but I understand why people are trying to get paid at that age when that was just maybe not as at the forefront of what the goal was of their job 10 years ago.
Ben, I had a buddy in college who drove a DeLorean.
What year did he come from?
I don't know, but he drove a DeLorean.
One day he appeared out of the blue.
Now, I would have loved to have driven a DeLorean. I could only afford a Civic.
Right.
Now, did I start selling cocaine?
No.
So I could buy that
I hope
DeLorean
not.
because I was jealous
No.
of my buddy who drove
I
a
hope
DeLorean.
you had the sense for that not to be the case.
No, I fixed my Civic and I drove to work. That's what I did. Now, when I was at work to afford the DeLorean and when I was working at Sears, did I empty the till into a bag and try and get it to my car?
I would hope you didn't.
No, I didn't do that
'cause
either.
You worked with Lloyd and the till was
Yeah.
empty by the time Lloyd left
Yeah,
work.
exactly. The Portuguese mob had that cornered. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any sympathy for any of this stuff. I
I'm with
don't.
you.
I
I'm not
don't. And
condoning
I
it.
don't care if the $1,000 a year volleyball player is looking at the star quarterback and going, "Why me?"
I'm not
I
condoning
don't
it
care.
either.
I didn't care that Pete Rose had all sorts of stuff going on in his life. I didn't care that he didn't bet on his own team. I've said this a million times. There is one rule in sports. One. That's it. You can't gamble. You can't do it. I don't care.
I'm with you, and I'm totally with you.
I'm not sympathetic.
And you shouldn't be. Well, all the crimes
I
you're
don't
talking
care about their
are
context.
not. I do understand that 18-year-olds are dumb people, and 19-year-olds are dumb people. I was a dumb 18-year-old and 19-year-old.
And
Now, I
managed
was
to not break the law.
You're right.
Strange.
I didn't. You're right. I never got caught
You
breaking
didn't look
the
at
law.
your neighbor
That we
and
know
go,
of.
"Wow, they
Yeah,
have a nice
I definitely
SUV."
did not get caught breaking the law. But
I don't think you were stealing from the hotel you
no,
worked
of
at.
course not.
I don't think you were dealing cocaine on
Of course
on
not.
campus.
No, and that's not necessarily what's being alleged here. But
No, you see what I'm saying, though. You compromise your moral integrity or whatever because of jealousy. That's it's written in the 10 Commandments. I mean, it's a
I totally get it. I also understand why the temptation is there, and it's because there was so much money with these college athletes that one day there was not.
Boo-hoo. Deal with it.
Okay. I'm not saying I condone what they're doing. I'm saying I recognize that they are facing probably different pressures than college kids did 20 years ago.
Christian became a cat burglar because of the big money rolling around Brigham City.
Mm-hmm. Got to.
He's like, I'm going to steal those jewels. That's what I'm doing.
Notorious Brigham City for its jewel collection.
I know.
Yeah, rubies.
Stay tuned. Steve Bartle joins us next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.